Action!
So sorry, but do we know each other?
Yeah, no, I ran you over. Sorry.
This film's been called a rom-com, and technically, I guess, there's romance and comedy, but it feels like a pretty inadequate descriptor. Like, I'm curious to know how you would describe it in terms of the things that appealed to you most about the project.
Yeah, I love that it's funny. I love that it's gallows humor. I love that it's romantic. I love that it's full of longing and love. I think it's about life. And life is hopefully full of loss and love and gain and beauty and adventure and difficulty and pain and confusion and vulnerability and success and failure. Like it feels like it contains a whole lifetime in 2 hours.
And a film like this that is a little conceptual, non-linear storytelling, as an actor going into it, are there pros and cons to that? Are there things that you think, oh, like, I'm curious to see how that's going to translate?
Love the non-linear style of the script, and I love the non-linear style of the film. Yeah, it poses difficulty for the filmmakers to make sense of it, make sure that everything adds up emotionally. But I find that jigsaw puzzle quite touching, quite poetic, a little it kind of elevating in terms of the style and the feeling of the film. So yeah, no, I feel very supportive of that element of the film, and as a performer, as an actor in it, it doesn't really change anything because we film everything out of sequence anyway.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And it works so well because of the chemistry that we watch evolve between you and Florence as we move sort of forwards and backwards through the characters' lives. Tell me about working with her.
It's a joy and a gift and a privilege to work with Florence. She's one of those rare people and rare actors that not only is looking for the joy and the fun and the laughter, but is also looking for how do we make this as deep and real and connected as possible. We both thrive as people, as actors, on connectivity. We love working with other people. We love collaborating. We're not solitary, isolated, creatives. We love doing it with other people. We're pack animals. So that felt very fortunate and pleasurable that we got to rely on each other and inspire each other into whatever scene we were shooting.
There is something that your daddy and I
Something that Mummy and me want to...
we want to talk to you about. It's a bit serious, though.
Yeah.
And I love that, you're both, for want of a less wanky term, serious thespians. But also, you've been in mega blockbusters as well. Did you swap war stories about being in superhero movies?
Really, actually, no, we didn't really talk much about that. We would speak more about the perils of, being known people or being recognizable people at least, and we would bond over stories around that and hilarious things about that, silly things about that, and difficult things about that. And it's very rare that you get to talk about that with someone. So you can only really talk about it with other people. Otherwise, you're like, oh yeah, oh it must be so hard. It's like, yeah, no, it's true. And yeah, sometimes you a loss of anonymity is a real thing. Especially if you're having a bad hair day and you just want to go and get a coffee, and you have people that are videoing you while you're irritable. It's like, but again, it's like the smallest of small things to complain about. Hence, I regret even like mentioning it to you right now. But
as a non-famous person, you see, it's that was your first mistake.
Exactly.
I can't relate.
I blew it.
It's not true. I have been stopped, I think, maybe twice in my life by someone who recognized me from working in a newspaper. Doesn't happen as often as it does to movie stars, I imagine. But now the film examines these weighty subjects, like how we live, how we choose to die, how we spend the time that we have. Did it make you look at your own life a little bit differently?
Oh yeah, definitely. I hope everything I make changes my attitude and perspective about, you know, my own existence and how I proceed in this life. And this one feels like a wonderful like talisman and reminder of you know, it's not a dress rehearsal, and we're all heading in the same direction. You know, we're all going towards the same ultimate destination, and that I think can create a sense of vitality and aliveness if you let that reality really partner you.
Well, that's right. In real life, you know, when the big director calls cut, there's no okay, let's go again. There's a lot of beauty in the film, but there's real incredible sadness as well. Like as a performer, how do you get in and out of that emotion in a scene from a process perspective? And then how did Florence's process kind of like how did that dynamic work with you?
Yeah, I mean, like, gosh, I mean, the best thing is if you have another actor who's as committed, devoted, and present as you want to be on a set in a scene. And I was so fortunate to have that with Florence. I could lean and rely on her to bring me into the reality of the moment of that particular scene. So that is just, you know, a cheat code. And then, but previous to that, I have to bring myself to set in a way that is full of that particular how the scene starts. And that can be done with lots of different things for me. Music, it can be just imagination, it can be through like a meditative imagination, relaxation, and just kind of it can be through sense memory, emotional memory. It can be through a physical gesture. It can be through an object. It can be countless things that can get you into whatever moment you need to get into. And then hopefully you have all those ingredients that are alive inside you, and then you can let go and relax and allow the scene to live and see where it brings you.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I can kind of like thinking about some of your past performances. It makes perfect sense. And I was fortunate enough recently to talk to the cast of Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, and Nicholas Holt said that he was dreading the press tour because it was the sort of film where there was just no funny anecdotes that you could tell the media. Is there funny stories from We Live in Time?
Yeah, plenty. Uh they're probably going to evade me now, but there were definitely, you know, I almost vomited on the carousel or on the swings on the fairground. You know, I was very cocky because, you know, I love anything like fun fair, roller coaster, theme park related. So I was like, oh yeah, the swings, yeah, put me on that thing all night, baby, I'm good. And then I made the very foolish mistake of at midnight eating the curry that was on offer by the caterers, and immediately had to get on the swing. And I was like, I really fucked this up. And yeah, I was deeply, deeply nauseous all the way through that big kind of swinging carousel scene. And Florence was delighting in torturing me and twisting my chair and then being very sweet and caring. But I did not vomit, which is some kind of achievement.
That's good. That's good. And I feel like that also captures the duality of what we think of Florence's personality. Now, I just want to take a very quick detour. Um, I spoke to Luca Guadagnino once, and he struck me as such a unique filmmaker. What can you tell me about working with him on After the Hunt, which hopefully we'll see
Yeah,
soon?
yeah. I can't speak highly enough about Luca. I truly adore him, and I adore his filmmaking. I adore his experimentation, his radical approach to telling a story, how loving and good he is with actors, how encouraging and inspiring he is, how elegant. And you know, I really, you know, we've been wanting to make something together for 15 years, and since I Am Love, he wanted me to be a part of that film, and I wasn't able to, but I'm so happy that I finally got a chance to experience working with him. Yeah, he's a real artist, and uncompromising, and is just, yeah, beautiful artist.
Yeah, that looks like a cool film. I can't wait to see that one. And now back to We Live in Time. We're running out of time, Andrew, ourselves. And so I want you to tell me, like, what do you hope people leave this film with other than a pocket of sopping wet tissues?
That would be good unto itself. I obviously just want everyone to have their own, feelings and response. I have no desire to dictate what people should feel. But, in an ideal world, I hope that people have their hearts opened, that people have some calcification around their hearts cracked open, if there is calcification to be cracked, and to hopefully be reminded of the things that matter to them, and to be reminded, if nothing else, that we're all here for a short and quite speedy little trip, and to really ask what makes us, what are the things that make us come alive the most, and how do we cultivate lives that can be built in proximity to those things.
Yeah, wonderful, mate. Thank you so much. Really pleasure to talk to you. And you take care.
Good day.
And cut.